Actually, this is the school where my son attended preschool, Annunciation, in Minneapolis.
Oh my
Thankfully, we've
gosh.
since moved, but it's absolutely horrific to see these little faces and their parents, what unfolded this morning. We are hearing quite a bit more now about who is responsible. This 23-year-old who killed himself in the parking lot of Annunciation Catholic school after opening fire during morning mass. This is how the kids start their day at Annunciation. The school day, or the school year, I should say, just started on Monday. It's a kindergarten through eighth grade school, but they have some preschool programs there as well. But it's Robin Westman who's been identified as the shooting suspect. And Robin was Robert, interestingly enough. A few years ago, from what we can find online with court records, it looks to be that Robert was 16 or 17 at the time that his family petitioned the court to have his name changed legally to Robin. So that took place when he was a 16 or 17-year-old, just by looking at his birth date. But also, his mom appears to have worked at Annunciation. It appears she retired several years ago, back in 2021. So there is some sort of connection to this school. I will say that his manifesto, we've viewed that as is really quite troubling. There's a lot to look at online here. I think most of it has been taken down by YouTube and other social media sites at this point. But absolutely horrific what has taken place. We know two children, again, ages 8 and 10, were killed. We know 17 others were injured. We're hearing that 6 of them are in critical condition at Hennepin County Medical Center. 2 adults we know were also shot, but primarily this was attack on school-aged children attending mass this morning in Minneapolis.
So, do we have any indication? And I've seen parts of the manifesto. I've read a bit of it, some in English, some in Cyrillic. But with AI, there's able to be some translation. It's quite extensive. But is there any information linking the shooter at this point to this school, to this community, to this parish? Do we know yet if they were a former student, if he was a former student, or had someone, maybe family member or friend that was connected to it?
Yeah, as I said, the mother of Robin, or Robert, seems to have worked at the school. Annunciation announced on Facebook that
Okay.
she was retiring a few years ago, and that's something that's out there online. I don't know how long she worked there. Perhaps, I'm guessing, if she was a teacher at that school, that this Robert would have attended the school as well. In this manifesto, it does appear that he has a drawing of the actual area where he opened fire. That the church pews are all lined up. He has the cross in the front and whatnot in the notepad linked to him online. Really pretty horrible to watch, but left quite an extensive online footprint before this horrific attack.
That seems what it looks like, and again, this is obviously going to raise a lot of questions as to the idea that YouTube and all of these places are I this very show would get flagged immediately if I were to say something that was against the YouTube algorithm, and yet you have this manifesto being uploaded that YouTube didn't seem to have any issue with whatsoever. So certainly something that I want to look into from that perspective. Do we know if there's any criminal record associated with Westman at all, or was he on any radars?
Yeah, that question was asked during this morning's press conference, and the police chief of Minneapolis was there along with the mayor of Minneapolis, and they said no, that there appeared to be no criminal history. We've heard of this barrage of gunfire that took place, and was it sounds like he was able to get off rifle shots, also from a shotgun and a pistol in the time that this all transpired, and then took several steps back and killed himself in the parking lot. Police did say they were able to get there quickly to start rendering aid, and we know that these children and again 2 adults are being treated at this time as well. Were taken to Children's Hospital in Minneapolis, and also Hennepin County Healthcare, where they have the level 1 trauma center. But they're even saying that these other children obviously are not out of the woods. These 6 that are critically wounded. It sounds pretty horrific for everyone who was on scene. And I also wanted to mention, this is the 4th shooting in Minneapolis in less than 24 hours. 3 people died in shootings in a matter of 13 hours, and then this horrific shooting took place this morning at a school. Another mass shooting happened just yesterday outside of, again, a Catholic high school, but police did say today that they did not think they were connected. But you have a depleted police force in Minneapolis, that's no secret, and talked to a few today. One said this was the darkest 24 hours in Minneapolis history, as he sees it.
So when you tell me more about that depleted police force, obviously this is something that you've written and reported on quite extensively. But what is the status of this police force as it stands today? Here we are 5 years after George Floyd and everything that happened that summer.
Yeah, in the city, there were nearly 900 police officers the beginning of May of 2020. There was actually a push by Mayor Jacob Fry at the time, which is interesting now, to hire hundreds more. And the police chief back then, quickly, they determined that police, of course, had to be the bad guys after George Floyd, and made quite a few decisions leading to this depleted force. So now I've been told, and this is just kind of a recent update, that it's about 350 officers who now work the streets in Minneapolis. They have quite a few, administrators and things of that nature. But those are street cops, people who are actually out there. And when you hear those numbers in such a short amount of time, crime is not down. That is what we're told consistently by our local media and the mayor of Minneapolis. And just as what has transpired here in the last 24 hours, I think proves that.